Greetings, gang. All right, so a few of you guys have asked about this one, and I'm going to show you the simplest fishing setup that you can get. I mean, this is one that a novice, what you're teaching kids how to set up for fishing. In any sort of fishing scenario or whatever, the idea is to catch fish, right? That's why they call it fishing, not catching. So I'm going to show you how to set up to catch bluegill, which are, panfish, brim, whatever you want to call them, sunfish, anything like that. Because they're the most prolific fish, they're certainly the most abundant fish, and they're, in my opinion, the most fun to catch. Now, everything I'm going to show you, this is real simple. This is all Walmart stuff. Nothing here is expensive. You can probably get everything I've got for under 50 bucks, all right, total. So from pole to reel to you name it. The whole point of this is you got to learn how to do this sometime. And I don't care if you're showing your 7-year-old how to do this or you're 62 and you've never caught fish before. It's as simple as it comes. So what I've got is, I'll try to show you this, just a inexpensive Zebco pole. Okay, this is a 6-foot pole. If I look on here, it is an RT series pole, so nothing fabulous. Again, it's just a Walmart pole. Fine. I'm going to put a Zebco 33 micro reel on here, and the reason I want this, it's 4-pound test line that's in here. If you catch a bigger than a 4-pound bluegill, make sure you get the DNR around, because the record bluegill is three pounds. So 4-pound test, you're fine. You don't need 10-pound test or anything. You're not going for bass fishing. We're not trying to get on the FLW tour or anything like that. You're trying to catch some food that you can eat. All right. So simple enough. I'm just going to open this. This is not, trust me, this is not my first time fishing. I've been fishing my entire life, but I know there's a lot of people who haven't, and you've got to know how to get food, all right? So if you know everything here, shut off the video. That's fine. I'm not going to teach you anything new. This isn't fancy. This is a very beginner's fishing video, or how to set up a pole for kids or for adults who haven't done it before. Reel goes on real simple. Tighten it down, okay? Make sure you get that good and tight. There is nothing like having a fish on and your reel coming off your pole, so you don't want to be dealing with that. All right, so I got it as tight as I can. Maybe you can see that, maybe you can't. Little tab there because it's a brand new reel. Pull out my line. Going to push the button, release the line. Cut the little tab off, because you're not going to get that through anywhere. And as simple as you go, thread your line through the eyelets on the pole. Do yourself a favor, make sure you don't get it twisted over the pole. There's nothing worse than when you have your line twisted over the pole after you've put all the other stuff on and you realize, oh crap, I've got it twisted. Because now you got to take everything off, and this is not the 2-minute drill on putting together a fishing pole. All right, so oops. Always fun trying to do this on camera so you guys can see what you can do, because it's a little harder for me to see what I'm doing. Try to get through the last eyelet there. There it is. All right. So I have my pole. There's no twists. All the way down. And probably bring myself about 2 feet of line out the end, so I have something to work with. Now, there's a couple of different ways that you can set up your pole. Some people like spring bobbers. I personally like slip bobbers. I'm going to show you the slip bobber version. And again, I'm going to say this, This is not the only way to do it. This is the way I do it. Okay. So y'all have probably seen these little things, the strings and the little ball. That's for your slip bobber. So the reason you use a slip bobber is because that way you can adjust the depth of where your bobber is going to sit, how deep your hook is going to go, your bait is going to go in the water, because fishing's all about trial and error. And once you figure out what the depth of fish you're at, obviously that's where you want to place your bait. Okay. So remember, you're building this backwards from the top down. So you got to put everything on that's going to go before the hook. The hook is going to be at the lowest level. So your first thing is your little string. This is what you're adjusting your depth of your bobber with by setting the string wherever you want. That's how deep you're going to go in the water. And we're trying to get this on here. See if I can show you this as best I can, but I'm going to put the line through the little tube and get it through. There we go. All right, so I've now got my string sitting in my line. And simple as this works, just slide the string off so it's on your fishing line, and there's a slit in the black plastic. I can take that off and discard that. That's going to be useless. All right, pull that out, tighten that line so it's a knot. Do not cut off all the legs on here, the extra string. You want that, makes it a lot easier to see that. You don't want that unraveling or anything like that, so leave that there. All right, so there's the first thing that goes on. No problem there, nothing's gonna fall off at the moment. The next one is always the pain in the ass for everybody. I'll get one of them out. There we go. See if we can even see this. This teeny tiny little ball, okay? That's your bobber stopper. There is a hole in it that you are going to need to thread your line through. All right, that's always the fun part because that takes a little bit. But now I've got that on the line, and it will slide up all the way to my string. From here it gets a little easier. Okay. Third part is my slip bobber. There's a hole all the way through this. Okay. So we are going to thread the line all the way through the hole, all the way through the bobber, till she comes out the other side. Big key at this point, make sure you are not letting everything drop, because then you got to do everything again. Nothing's tightened down. As you can see, it'll all slide right to my hand. So make sure you're holding your line up. Okay. Next part, worm weights. Now, these are just your little bullet weights. 3/16 an ounce or or an 1/8 of an ounce is all you want. You don't want anything more than that. Otherwise it's going to pull your whole bobber underneath. So we'll get one of these out. It's like a bullet. Put it in, threading it from the pointy side in. Remember, you're working on this all backwards. I'm going to try to get the sunlight so I can see where I'm going. All right, and now I lead weights on there. Next part, split shot. Okay, your little pellets. Number 6, number 7 split shot is fine. You don't need anything bigger than that. Again, you need enough weight to get that hook down to the water, but you don't want too much weight to pull your bobber underneath. Now, try to show you this. Doesn't matter right now because we're going to slide that around. slide it in, pinch it down, got a pair of pliers or something like that, you can get that good and tight. You don't have to, you can squeeze it with your fingers, it's just lead. But now you have your whole setup there. Try to get that all in the camera so you can see it. So I've got my string, my bobber stopper, my bobber, my bullet weight, and my split shot. No, we're not done. Okay, so last thing is hooks. Small hooks is what you want for bluegill. They have little small mouths. We're not going after largemouth bass or something here. They got little holes for a mouth. Okay. Number 10 bait hook, worm holders, is as big as you want to go. You don't need anything bigger than that. Ice hooks work. Anything. There you go. You could even use a little jig on the end if you wanted to. That's fine. When you're putting the hook on, I'll show you. You're going to take it, I don't know if you can see it there. Okay. I'm going to put the line through from the back of the hook, so the hook itself is facing away from me. So I'm going in, I hope you can see this way. My hook on. How y'all tie these, some people do a twist method or whatever, which is great. I just do it the way that works for me. Put a finger above, so I'm holding the hook down there. 7 turns. Don't want to go less, so you need a good tight hook. Last thing you want to do is catch a fish and have your hook come off the line. Okay, get the end. I know you can't see what I'm doing, because hell, I can barely see what I'm doing. But then I'll bring it through my loop near my finger, get it through. I'll do this closer to me so I can see what I'm doing. All right. Grab it, pull it down, cinch my knot, trim my end. So now I have the whole setup. Now, everything's together, now we got to adjust it all. I want to bring my weights down to maybe somewhere between 4 and 6 inches above my hook. Okay, so you see where those are. The split shot will hold the bullet weight from going any further down. The bobber will slide all the way to it. Okay. I want my string up here. Always start around 2 feet from your hook. Okay. Because panfish have a tendency to stay in about 2 feet of water. You will adjust as you fish when you figure out where they are. But so here's the concept. When you cast, your bait, your weights are going to go in the water. The bobber will now float up and stop there at the string. So you can adjust whatever it is. If I wanted to move that string down so the bobber stopped here, now I'm a foot deep. If I want to go further, now I'm 3 feet deep or whatever. But there is your simple setup for everything you need. Like I said, probably under 50 bucks for getting a rod and reel set up to catch food. And get that in. But there you go. There is a basic bluegill setup for catching fish. And bluegill are found all over the country, so don't worry about, oh my God, they aren't here or whatever it is. Bluegill are everywhere. I've caught them in Michigan and Chicago and Nevada and Salt Lake City and Tennessee, Boston, anywhere I've been. You find a lake, freshwater lake, there's bluegill in it, trust me. A few of you guys asked me to show you that. That's it. there you go. Another way to catch food. Pinball out.